Hi, my name is Keri Barnum. I am the Executive Director for New Shelves Books. We are here this morning for Free Advice Friday, the hour every Friday where we talk about book marketing, publishing, and the business of being an author. We do take questions live. You can join us at newshelves.com/FAF, or you can email those questions into info@newshelves.com and we will answer them when we are live. If you miss, we do put our replays up on YouTube on Mondays. So I'm going to start with a question that came in from Denise, just live right now. And the question is, ACX has different distribution plans, 40% exclusive distribution and 25% non-exclusive distribution. What exactly is non-exclusive? So ACX, of course, is the Amazon Creation Exchange. This is for audiobooks done by Amazon. And what it is if you agree to go exclusive with Amazon, meaning your book will only be available from Audible and iTunes through ACX and through Amazon, you get a higher royalty. You get a 40% percentage of the royalty. Now, if you do a non-exclusive, which means that you can upload your book to ACX just for Audible, and then you can also go to like Findaway Voices and upload your audiobook there, so it's available from Chirp and Kobo and Overdrive and all of those other places, you get a smaller percentage. You get a 25% non-exclusive percentage. So it is Amazon trying to get people to be exclusive to Audible, much like Kindle Unlimited. So that's the whole point of it, is they're trying to drive customers to their platforms by having products that are only available from their platforms. You can see Griff in the shadow there. So that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to drive that traffic over to Amazon by being able to say, we have exclusive ebooks on Kindle Unlimited you can't read anywhere else. We have exclusive audiobooks you can't get anywhere else. So they are trying to incentivize authors and publishers by giving them a higher percentage through ACX on royalty rates if they go exclusive on their platforms. And because it is connected to iTunes, again, Audible and iTunes is where you go if you're exclusive. In most cases, I recommend that you go not exclusive for audiobooks. And the reason why is that with audiobooks, whereas most Kindle books, it's estimated about 91% of ebooks are purchased directly on Amazon or read through Kindle Unlimited. And with audiobooks, it's a little bit different, because with the audiobooks, we're not just getting people who read or people who are stuck on Kindle. We're really finding that audiobooks are drawing an audience from podcasts, from people who are listening to music, who tend to have like music programs. So we're talking Spotify, we're talking, sure, iTunes and iBooks, but also different things like that. And so when you go non-exclusive, you can get into Findaway Voices and you can do Overdrive for libraries. You can do Spotify now, because that's now owned by Findaway Voices. You can do different options like that to hit a broader reader or listener base with your audiobooks. You can also apply for Chirp promotions, which is like a BookBub promotion for audiobooks. So again, I think you personally have more opportunity for audiobooks if you go wide and you don't go exclusive. But that is what it means, Denise. That is why they're doing it. And hopefully that helps. Certainly always do what's right for you. If you go exclusive with them, sometimes you can do royalty share with your narrator, so you're not paying as much up front. And there are different options and different pros and cons. So as always, do what's best for you. But that's kind of my 2-cent take on it. And we had a question from Eileen asking about querying an editor. When querying an editor, how do you address what you need from them in order to receive a response from them? How long until I reach out to them again and reach out to another editor? So I assume you're talking about an editor for your books. And I kind of play with the rule of, I used to work in a maintenance sector and contracting. And whenever we were getting any type of quotes, we always got 3. And then we picked the best of the 3. Sometimes that was the best price. Sometimes it was the person we felt most comfortable with, but we always did 3 quotes before deciding on anything. And I often encourage people to do that if they're not having a direct recommendation and they have a reason to believe that this editor would work really well with them, or that there's a lot of trust or personal relationship. I recommend that you typically go and get quotes or information from 3 editors or 3 book cover designers and different things like that. So if you're reaching out to an editor, it's really important that you're clear with them of what you are looking for. For example, you need to tell them what kind of edit you're looking for. Are you looking for a developmental edit where you're actually trying to work and develop the manuscript? Are you looking for a copy edit where you are looking for a line-by-line grammar kind of edit? Are you looking for a proofread, which is someone kind of looking at the final files for any last minute mistakes, any formatting errors? Those are all different types of editing. And because they often take different amounts of time or skill, the pricing can vary a lot in those. So if you reach out to 3 editors and one gives you a line edit quote and one gives you a proofreading quote and one gives you a quote for a hybrid of the 2, then you're going to get different pricing. So you need to make sure that you're sharing the same information and you're asking for specifically what you need. Now, if you would like more information on what exactly each of these types of editing include, if you go to our YouTube channel, we did have Erica McIntyre, who's an editor, on with us, and she explained each one. She's fabulous. Let me pull up that YouTube channel for the link. So it's the different types of editing explained is the YouTube video, which you can find. And I'm going to drop that link in here for you today, but anyone watching the replay, you can just go on our YouTube channel and just search editing explained and it'll pop up and it explains which each one is. So when you're reaching out to an editor, you want to tell them what kind of editing you're looking for. I am looking for a copy edit. I need help on my grammar and line by line to make sure that my manuscript is clean. It is 60,000 words. You need to give them the details, how many words it is, what genre is it? Because sometimes they'll say, well, I don't work in that genre. I have editors I work with who exclusively work in nonfiction. I also have editors who will do romance, but they don't do spicy romance. So it's really important that you tell them how many words you have, the genre, what kind of edit you're looking for, and also if there are any specific timelines. So you can say, I really would like to get this started by December 1st, and I need the edit back by January 15th. If you don't have any time constraints, then you also want to allude to that. Now, of course, you don't want to be like, anytime's good, but you can say, I am flexible on timing. I would like to get to this as soon as possible, but I am flexible. So give them your timing, your genre, your word count, and then give them time. It's really important to realize that a lot of people in publishing, a lot of people in editing are one person. Many of them have other jobs or side hustles, different things like that. So I would give them at minimum a week before you follow up. If it's been a week, then follow up with them. It might have been lost in their it might be lost in their inbox. It might have gone to spam. It might, who knows, things happen. So follow up and just say, I'm just wanted to follow up, see if you're interested or not. But again, at the same time, you should be emailing out 2 or 3 other editors to get information. So you certainly want to make sure that this is not the only person you're leaning on. Sometimes it won't have I've done this before. I'm so guilty. I was out of office and my out of office reply didn't pop up. So then I had people very angry. I hadn't responded and I simply had made a mistake. Or times where I didn't see it. So follow up, but also go for more than one editor to kind of get different information. And then once you get the information from them, that's when you move forward. That's when you decide if it's going to be a good fit. Sometimes they'll reply and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I only do developmental editing. Or they'll say, I love this genre, but I'm not available until May. Well, if that doesn't fit for you, it doesn't fit for you. So you kind of move from there. But again, those are the kind of the specifics I would be offering. And then also you want to make sure that you're asking for their availability and for a quote. Many of them will say, if you send me the first 10 pages, or if you send me the manuscript, I'll give you a quote, because what they are looking for typically is they're not trying to steal your project. What they're trying to do is they're trying to look at your project to see how clean it is, to see how much work it might be. I have worked with people who go, this is the final, it's awesome, it's ready to be published, and I read it and I go, oh boy, no, it's not. It needs to be rewritten, or it needs so much more. You're thinking you need a proofread when really you need a developmental edit. And so essentially that's what a lot of them are doing, is they want to see how much work is involved, to make sure that when they quote you a price or how many hours, that it's realistic. I felt a sneeze coming on, so I muted so I didn't sneeze in your ears and then it went away. It's like, you know, when someone says bless you. All right. Yes. What does Friday mean as an author? It means that you've got more work ahead of you. Lovely work, right? I will often sneak in a quick email peek, actually on Saturday, not Saturday, Saturday's off, but on Sundays, oftentimes I'll go through and just plan out my week. It makes me happier. And as you said, as an author, your off time is when you work sometimes. All right. So hopefully that works, Eileen, and hopefully that makes sense. If you have more follow-up questions, of course, let me know. All right. Can you guys handle taking over an author's KDP account, ads, author page, A+ content, pricing, promotions, etc.? We do work with authors to help keep their books alive and doing everything with ads and things like that. I do have monthly retainers for certain people and clients who need ongoing help, whether it be ads or different things. For example, Vicki and I work together year-round basis on her ads. And so it just depends. But if you're looking for something long-term, or if you're looking for a marketing program, email me, let me know. We can talk the specifics. Sometimes we're a good fit, sometimes we're not, and it just depends on you and your book. So I know your books, obviously, but email me so I can actually get you real-time information. And I hope that your travels are going well. I've seen all your pictures, it looks amazing. Yes, I know that editing information can trip people up, and I keep hearing, I was talking, I don't usually take any type of consulting on Friday mornings, but it was the only time that was available. I have a conference coming up, and so it was the only time available. And that gentleman said, I wish I had found you months ago because I didn't know what I didn't know. And unfortunately, that is just how it works sometimes. Is as authors, you're navigating this space, and sometimes you just don't know, or you get bad advice or whatever it may be. So all right, another question we had in, not that one, not that one. I swear it's coming. Oh, I've had a lot of questions. Mock-up shots, which you all know I love. It's where you can actually put your book into like a still life in a mock-up, and it goes live. That currently is on sale. I am going to, it's an affiliate link, that's how you get the discount. So usually they've upped their price to $207, and it is currently $97 if you have a partner's affiliate link, which I just dropped in for you. And for anyone who has not seen that, I'll do a quick preview. Let's see, mock-up shots. So mock-up shots, again, is where you can upload your your cover file, like your front cover file, and then it gives you all of these beautiful, cool images. Like your cover could go here with Spider-Man. Super cute if you have like a self-help book, or if you have a children's book. Mock-ups can go in different scenes, like it can go with coffee. They have a bunch of Christmas ones where it's like with Santa's hand, which is perfect, by the way, for ads for Christmas. It's got like a hot cocoa one. They have little gifs, and you'll see here that it says 207. This is lifetime access. You can upload as many book covers as you want. You can do single book covers, or you can do up to 3 in a series. So this says 207, but if you use my link, they currently are offering affiliates a $97. So it's discounted there to $97. I do not know how long that will be on. I happened to be looking at this with someone who wanted it, and I was like, hey, it's not usually this price. So if you've been wanting this, this is super great for social media when you need a lot of content, or you want graphics, but you don't want to spend forever in Canva. It's very helpful, and I highly recommend it. I use it myself, and a lot of my clients use it as well. All right. Yes, they do have boozy shots too. Randy, of course, has his bar poetry books, and so those go, they work very well. All right. Question: my print book is with Ingram Spark and Amazon without expanded distribution. Good job. Shouldn't my print book be showing available through Ingram Spark on Barnes & Noble and on other sites? So yes, typically, if your book is uploaded to Ingram Spark and KDP, the way that that works is you upload directly to KDP, and that goes up onto Amazon for your Amazon sales. But if you are looking for wide distribution, if you want like barnesandnoble.com, walmart.com, all of those things, it should show up if you upload to Ingram Spark. So Ingram Spark is how we can get into Ingram Wholesale for bookstores and libraries. It's also how you can get onto a lot of the .com stores. Now, if your book is approved and it's live on Ingram Spark and you're not seeing it anywhere, no, it can take up to a week to show up on those places. If you're searching for your book on those websites, search for the ISBN with no dashes. If you're still not seeing it, make sure that you have enabled distribution for your book on Ingram Spark. I've seen this more than once where it's up, but it's not enabled. So you have to enable that distribution. So it says print, sell, and order worldwide, I think. So make sure that you do that. Mock-up shots is not, there's a couple different connections in there. It's through a couple, I mean, it's been sold a couple times, but it still shows up as mock-up shots, and it's still available to them. And they did add some more stuff, memes, new, they just added a bunch of new images and like cell phones and audiobook and different things like that. All right. Let me see. Yeah, so Walt was pointing out that he was trying to post a review the other day and it got rejected. And so the only thing he could think to change was that he had said, I got this book for free from NetGalley and I'm leaving a review. And so he took that out and then it was accepted. So the question then becomes, does Amazon allow a review when you say the book was free? Because it used to be that the policy was if you got a review copy from NetGalley or Goodreads or from the author, you would say, I received a free copy of the book from Hidden Gems or NetGalley. Here's my review. And that is no longer required. However, sometimes you put it in there, you'll get rejected. Sometimes you take it out and it's approved. Again, you guys, this is all done by bots. It sometimes gets through different people. It is hit or miss. There is no hard and fast rule anymore of what will get approved. If you are trying to leave a review when you had an ARC copy and it's not going through, try taking that out. It might go through. When you are mentioning that, though, there's some very specific wording that I would recommend. If you're trying to say, I received an advanced reader copy from NetGalley, However, all opinions and reviews are my own, or this is an honest review. So that's what they're looking for, is even though you got it for free, they're essentially just looking to make sure that your opinion was not paid for, it was not forced, you were not required to leave a 5-star review. And so I work with a lot of authors who use a lot of these systems. So I do see reviews recently in the last week that came through saying, I got a copy of the book through Hidden Gems, but this is an honest review. And then, of course, Walt had the problem where his review would not post when he said it was from NetGalley. So hit or miss, but if you're having a problem leaving a review, that's something you want to consider. And thank you for bringing that up, Walt, because I do think it is such a hit or miss sometimes. All right, Jane had a question here about why Amazon is changing prices. So her book is up on Amazon. I believe it was $8.99. And then you see that the book is selling for much less. And the question is, why? Well, all that means is that Amazon is essentially running a sale. So it's not a bad thing in the sense that you are still getting paid your normal price. You are not receiving any less because Amazon has decided to discount your book. However, it may make you feel like your book looks cheap. So let me pull this up so I can look at it with you. And let's see if it's still discounted also, because sometimes it only stays for a minute. Let's see, it is. All right, let me share my screen. There we go. All right, so you can see here that Jane's book is currently selling for $5.20. However, the list price over here is $10.99. So what in the heck is going on? That again is just Amazon running a discount. So the book is $10.99. Amazon is essentially selling it for $5 cheaper. You as the author are still going to get paid the same amount, the same royalty. Amazon is taking a hit and selling it for cheaper. And they do that sometimes because they believe that if they drop the price and a couple of people start buying it, that it will sell better overall. Like they think it's something that if it gets attention for being priced lower, it'll start more sales. Sometimes they're trying to see if the price is down, will they sell more quantity and therefore in the end make more money? And sometimes, even though your book is print on demand, if your book sells regularly or if your book is coming from Ingram Spark, what happens sometimes is they end up with a couple of copies in their warehouse where they're already printed. So it's sitting in their warehouse. And as we get closer to Black Friday and to Christmas, they will start trying to empty out their warehouse for the bigger ticket items, for the electronics, for the things that are going to cost a little bit more, for popular Christmas buys. So if they do have copies of your book in the Amazon warehouse, they may reduce the price simply because they're trying to clear shelf space so that they can stock some of those more high ticket Christmas giftable items. That doesn't mean that people still can't order your book print on demand, but it does mean that if they've got extra stock copies or it's not selling as much now as it was, they're just keeping less stock on hand. There's nothing you can do about this. This is the same as if Walmart ran a discount on grapes. It is what it is. They're taking the hit. They're offering that to drive customer sales. And so you can't do anything about it. In fact, I'd lean in and I would embrace it. I'd say, hey, I noticed that Amazon is running a sale on Finding Family Treasure. So if you've been thinking about this book, go grab it. It's only $5.20. I have no clue how long it'll stay, and drive those sales, because why not? Or you can ignore it. It's up to you. But again, you have no control over this. This is a retailer running a sale. It's nothing to worry about. It does not mean there's a problem with your book or anything like that. So hopefully that explains a little bit more and also puts you at ease that there's nothing wrong. There's no big mistake, and your book is fine. Actually, your book is more than fine. It's great. And it's award winning, because I saw that post also. So congratulations on that. All right. Not that question. Cheryl, I'm going to save yours until the end just because that's going to take a bit more time. All right. Let me see. This one is from Pam. Let me see the question. Regarding reviews for a Christian nonfiction book that is hopefully going to libraries and Bible colleges, which is better, Kirkus, Blue Ink, or Chanticleer? They're all expensive, especially doing a combination of blue inking and Chanticleer. I don't know if they are worth the money. What is your opinion? So here is the thing. If you are trying to get your book into a college, a store, a library, I think it's always important that you try for professional reviews. Now, I want to remind you all that you can submit for most professional reviews at no charge. There are requirements. You have to do it in advance. And it is very important, excuse me, it is very important that when you do that, that you are not going through their paid option, because they all do have paid options. I'm looking up the list now of, whoops, not that way, I'm looking up the list now for the different review lists that I have. It's on the New Shelf store. And let me see. Where is it not? There we go. All right. So in the New Shelf store, I do have a free download, and it's professional book review list. It is absolutely free. I will show you now that if you go here, just go to newshelves.com, go to the store, and you will see it here. You can add it to bag. It's free, and you can do that. So I will drop it here in the chat so you have that. Now, as far as which reviews make the most sense, or maybe you're like, okay, I understand I can submit for free reviews. See there, you can join our New Shelves news you can use newsletter and get updates. All right. So as far as that, if you're like, I understand I can submit for free reviews, but I want guaranteed reviews and I'm willing to pay for them. If that is the case and you are looking for the reviews that you pay for and you're asking which one is best, I always suggest that you think of your market. So if you are trying to get into libraries, well, you know where I'd be submitting for it? Library Journal, School Library Journal. If you are really trying to get into bookstores, I would be considering Publishers Weekly and Book Life. If you are trying to get out there, Kirkus is a good one. Kirkus is notoriously, they don't give just nice reviews, which is why Kirkus is expensive. However, even though it's a paid for review, they have better, they have a better reputation for honest reviews. So some of these review sites, pretty much, they always give nice reviews. Kirkus, you can pay them and they can give you a not nice review. You have the choice of not publishing it if you pay for it, but just know that just because you paid them does not mean you're going to get a nice review. What that does mean is when you use that in your marketing, it's seen as more credible. So I think that's something to consider as far as credibility. And it is a chance though, because they may hate your book. I had a client, I actually love this one. I had a client who submitted for a Kirkus review. They hated the book. I mean, they hated it, slaughtered it, said it was trash, garbage, hated it. This author has gone on to sell, I think he's in the millions of Kindle page reads. He's hundreds of books. He is making thousands on his books, and this book in this series in particular every month. But Kirkus hated it and he paid for the review. We actually decided not to publish it. So I think that's important to realize, that you may pay and it may not be a great review, but it will have more clout if it is a good review. So for that reason, I typically do recommend Kirkus. Blue Ink is one of those that everyone knows it's paid for, and they typically do just nice reviews. So I'm not sure that will really help you in your goals as far as credibility. Chanticleer, again, the same thing. They typically write nice reviews. They also have awards. I think it's a great program. But again, just know that it's not quite the same as getting a non-paid for review or something like that. So I always go to the free submissions first and then consider those paid submissions. Kirkus is probably up on the higher options for me just because of their credibility. Blue Ink is fine, Chanticleer is fine, the other options are fine. But if you can find something in your niche, so if you have Christian nonfiction books, I would be looking for Christian magazines, Christian nonfiction sites that specialize in reviews for your genre. If you have an educational book, if you have a textbook, something like that, I'd be looking specifically for those places. Or I would be looking for people of note for endorsements. Can you go to a pastor? Can you go to someone in seminary? Can you go to someone who has recognition and clout within your industry or within your genre and get an endorsement there and ask them? So I know that's kind of one of those, let me give you an answer, but not really. And that's because it's a really personal decision on how you spend your money. But those are the things I personally take into recommendation. And when I am talking to clients one-on-one about this, these are the questions I ask before we make any decisions. So I hope that helps a little bit. Let's see. Kirkus can be kind of mean. Brace yourself. They don't hold their punches. I've gotten beautiful reviews from Kirkus as well, by the way. I mean, I've gotten some really great reviews, but a review is an opinion. It is not fact. It's an opinion. And sometimes they love your stuff, sometimes they don't, but they are not easy reviewers, which in some ways, again, is a good thing. It makes them more credible. Let me see. Yeah, so Cheryl very kindly said, my review is published if you would like to go review it so you can see an example of what it is. And you can go to kirkus.com and you can search on different books and find reviews that are up there. So I think that is great. And Cheryl's books is the Box Lunch Lifestyle. So you can go look up her review and other reviews. And again, if it's terrible, you can choose not to publish it, but that means you paid the money and you don't have anything to quote. So just considerations out there. The publishing world is not a gentle place. As much as authors are artists and can have a lot of feels and that soul deep thing, you really do have to have a tough skin because the publishing world is not gentle. It's not always kind. It's a harsh place sometimes to thrive in, but if you can develop that tough skin, most of the people who are giving you criticism or feedback, they're not doing it to be mean. They're doing it because that's kind of what it is to help make you better or to push you a little bit further. Now, some are a little more blunt than others, whereas some of us try to soften it by noting the positives and then also noting things that could improve. That's not always the case. Some people are just a little bit more blunt and abrasive. All right. Is it okay to put a quote from someone else's work in your book as long as you acknowledge them or part of them in your reference section, or should you ask them? So that is definitely a question for an editor. However, I will give you really basic rule of thumbs. Ask an editor for your book specifically, have them look at that. However, when quoting people, if it is like a single quote, if it's a small section, typically it's okay if you reference them. However, if you are quoting large passages, you need permission. And also, it's just smart to get permission anyway. If it's copyright of their material, it's just smart to reach out to them and say, I admire your work so much. I wanted to share this in my book, but I wanted to get your permission. As simple as that. So I think that is something that you should always do anyway, especially if it's larger work. Now, if you are using a single line from a John Green novel or something like that, a little more leeway. But if you're using large passages, if you are doing something like that, you want to ask them, and absolutely have an editor check your reference in particular, because what I'm telling you is just a very general rule of thumb. I'm not advising you to put a quote in your book or not to put a quote in your book, because I have not seen it, so I can't do that. But you can reference other people's work, but there are definitely specific rules around that you want to follow. Let me see. My book was submitted to NetGalley through a third party. I was sent the Excel list of the 34 downloads after a month. How do you recommend nudging nicely to ask the downloaders to review it? The Excel list is from a few weeks ago. Most feedback status says downloaded pending feedback. Should I ask my third party for an updated list? So I think an updated list is always important. That way you have the most updated information. But the way I would approach it is I would approach it emailing this list with a thank you. Don't nudge them and say, go leave a review. Email them with a thank you. Dear Tom, I saw that you were on the download list for NetGalley. I wanted to thank you for having an interest in my book. I am so flattered. This work means a lot to me. Some little bit of information. And then you end it with, I'm really looking forward to seeing your feedback or review. If you have any questions about the book, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to chat. Sign it off. What this does is it doesn't feel demanding. It establishes a rapport with that person, and it also reminds them, but not in a way that feels pushy. You're thanking them for their time, realizing that these reviewers are not paid. They simply decided they liked your book enough to download it and are going to consider reading and reviewing it. Maybe they haven't read it yet. Maybe they downloaded it and they didn't have the time they thought they did. Maybe they didn't love the book. I know, but maybe they didn't love the book and they didn't want to leave a negative review, or maybe they've written a review and they just haven't downloaded it yet. I don't know, life happens, but I would definitely approach it with thanks, with connection, and let it go from there. And that is how I personally would approach it. I think that we are so much more likely when we don't get a response, if there's something like that, especially for someone who's doing something for you for free, to approach with a connection kind of vibe, a thanks kind of vibe, and hopefully you get some responses, because sometimes people just forget. I mean, sometimes people have read it and maybe they posted on Goodreads and they forgot to post it anywhere else or something like that. And if they're like, man, that police, she's so darn nice, I should go copy that review over to Amazon. Sometimes that happens. So that's how I would approach it personally. And all right, we have about 15 minutes left, and Cheryl, I've been saving your question for last here. So many of you probably got an email from Amazon talking about Amazon attribution. This is a new program from Amazon where you can actually track the measure and reporting of your Amazon ads. So this is super cool, because for a long time, when you're running Amazon ads, you have been able to actually track that and see where your sales are coming from. Is your ad actually getting clicks? Is your ad getting you sales? And you've been able to track that. But when running ads to Amazon through, let's say, Facebook, or if you're doing TikTok and you're trying to find out, is this even worth it? You weren't able to track that. We used a lot of correlation, but Facebook pixels and things like that only work with direct sales websites, not through Amazon. So there was a lot of guessing involved in the marketing there for driving traffic to Amazon for sales. Now, there used to be this thing where people would recommend that you got an affiliate account, you create an affiliate link for your book, which put a tracking piece in it, and you used your own affiliate link, so you'd earn affiliate money on your own ads and sales, and you do that. However, that's against Amazon's policies. And so Amazon started to crack down and was not very happy with some people, and would in some cases would have some repercussions as far as closing their accounts down, because you're not allowed to use an affiliate link in that way with paid ads for your own product. I mean, there's legalities and red tape and their policy, whatever. So that was not an option that we recommended, because we do recommend that you follow the terms of service. However, a lot of authors were like, hey, Amazon, I'm driving traffic to your site, but I just want to know if it's working, if these people are buying my books. And so Amazon has just been releasing Amazon attribution, where you can create specialized IDs and links for your own products so you can track the activity in the sales when you are promoting your books off the Amazon site, whether you're posting them on your own social media, you're doing paid ads, BookBub ads, anything like that. So let me find the right page. Of course, I can't find the right page. That would be too easy. Hang on. All right, I'm going to share, and we're going to look at this for Amazon attribution because I'm getting so many questions about it. And it's awesome, and I think everyone should be using it. All right. So if you go into your Amazon advertising account, which is advertising.amazon.com, if you go here to this account and you go to the side, you will see the measurements and reporting tab. If you click on that, you will now see Amazon attribution. If you click on that, you can now create a campaign where you can see all of the stats for Amazon attribution campaign. So I can now create an ID tag for Facebook ads and then see click-throughs and DPVs and ATCs and all these things. Again, if you hover over this, it'll tell you what that is. So detailed page view, that's where someone's actually looking at your detail page. ATC is where it's talking about add to cart. So people actually put it in their cart, and then purchases is pretty self-explanatory. And then also with product sales. This is amazing. It is genius. Now when we're running Facebook ads, we can see if they're working. So I am absolutely in love with this, and it's pretty easy to get started. I do want to say there, if you click this hyperlink, learn how to get started, there is an Amazon YouTube, or like a video, not YouTube, but it's an Amazon video you can watch. However, they talk fancy. So let's actually take a look at it real time. All right, so you can upload a file with multiple campaigns. Honestly, I found that to be a little advanced to get started. So we're going to just create manually, and this does not cost anything. It's just part of Amazon's tracking now. So this is not a subscription. There's nothing paid. So we're going to create manually. And then what you're going to do is you can create a campaign name. So we can do test for Free Advice Friday. You may want to just title it your first book. You may want to just say Coming to Rosemont or Rosemont series. Doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. External ID if you need it, it's optional. And then you want to search for the product by the ASIN or the ISBN. Now I'm in a different account. Let's see if it'll work. We are going to go to the fabulous Paula-Mune 12 Dog Days of Christmas. Super cute, by the way. Kindle Unlimited, super cute little short story. It has puppies in it. And who doesn't love puppies, right? All right. So here we go. I'm going to take the ASIN. I didn't even think about this being in a, I have a different account than most people. So let's see if it'll let me do that. Oh, I didn't even think of this. Dagnabbit. Hang on, let me stop sharing. Let me get into a different account. Because of course it couldn't be that simple now, could it? Let me see. Give me a second here. All right. Oops, I think this may actually work. Hang on. Of course now. I switched over to, I think, my my KDP account. Yeah. It would not be a Free Advice Friday live video if I actually, thought it through and made it work the first time. Gotta show you how things go wrong. There we go. There we go. All right, let's start this over. Whoops, what did I? What did I do? Okay. Take two. All right. Now, as far as I know, Amazon attribution is something available to all authors through the Amazon advertising dashboard. That means traditionally published as well, as far as I know. This is a very new program, so certainly try it out. Let me know if it doesn't work for you. All right. So now we're going to create a campaign. We're going to click on this, and it's going to work. And as I said, you can upload a file to create in bulk. That's a little advanced. I don't recommend that to get started. Let's go simple. Let's create manually. All right, so when we create manually, I'm going to put a name on here and I'm going to say 12 dog days of Christmas. Now you may do this for a series. You may do this, whatever works for you, essentially. We don't have to have an external ID. I am going to pick this book in particular. I want to track this book. Now, if I was doing this for a series, I could pick every book in the series if I'm using series links and going to a series page. So you have some different options. But for this particular campaign, I only want to track for sales of this product. Now, I could also say, well, I'm going to advertise this product, but this is part of the series. And I would like to know if there's any read through. So I want to track that as well. So again, depending on your needs, you have options. So we're going to do just the 12 dog days of Christmas. Then you have to create your ad group. So what is this? This is your specifics. I would like to track just for Facebook organic post. This is just for when I'm just posting to Facebook and I'm not running any paid ads. So then your publisher is going to be where you're posting it at. You can add one if it's not on there, but the basics are on there. So Facebook, it's a social channel, and then they want to know the click-through URL. Where do I want my user to end up when they click on a URL? So I personally wanted to go here. So I'm going to take my shorten link. We're going to get rid of everything starting with REF because that is all search data that is not needed and muddies your link up. So I'm going to use just this information. Another trick that you can take is you can actually get rid of everything between Amazon and /DP and the ASIN. And when you do that, you've got an even shorter link that you can use. So that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to tap this right in here because that's where I'm going to drive people to, and that's what I want them to see. So that's one. I'm going to add another group because I also want to do a Facebook advertising link. So Facebook paid advertising. Okay, I'm going to select, I'm still doing Facebook. So I'm going to do that. I'm using the same URL because that's all I'm tracking for right now. Now, if I was doing a series, I could do a series. For example, if I had a series page, I could do tracking to a. My watch doesn't understand me. I could be leading this directly to the series page as well, because sometimes I do that for ads when it's a first book in series, and rather than go just to the front book, I lead to the series page. So you could do that as well. Then maybe I want to do, all right, so we have Facebook paid advertising. I want TikTok because, as you know, it's all correlation. Is my work on TikTok, is all of that posting paying off? Well, let's find out. Let's create a link there. And then maybe for this same exact book, I would like to create an ad group for BookBub ads because I want to know if my money's doing anything. Let's see if BookBub's in here. BookBub is not currently in here. So we have the opportunity to add new. And then it's going to say which one. Well, I would like BookBub. And then I have to tell them what kind of channel this is. Is this an email? Is this social? I'm going to call it social because that's kind of what it falls under. Although that brings a really good point. There are other options. We can do it through a video. So if I'm posting through a video, I can create an email link. So if I am emailing out to my list and I want to track how many pre-orders I'm getting based on my email, I can track that now. If it's a display, if it's on my website, I want to see how many people are actually going to Amazon and buying through my website. Those are options. So it's really cool here. And then when you feel like, okay, I've got all the links I want, please know you can edit and add more later. But when you're like, okay, these are the links I need, we're going to hit this create button. And when this happens, the create button pops, does its thing. And what it's doing is it's assigning ID tags that are specific to each of these platforms. So here, you can see I have attribution tags. These are my specific links that will track based on that. It tells me where my click-through is coming from. So you can see it's all going to the same link for the end user, but then it gives me this longer URL that if I use it and if I'm hyperlinking things or using that, it will track it. So if I am doing an organic Facebook post and I use this URL, then it's going to track it. Do keep in mind, that's an awfully long link. You may need to use something to shorten it, like tiny URL. Or if you're hyperlinking directly, like paid advertising, if you're doing that and it's got a button, no big deal. But so that is how you start using it. So if I'm doing a paid Facebook ad, I would use this link right here in my paid advertising on Facebook so that I will then get data of who is clicking on it, or not who, but how many people are clicking on it, who's viewing the detail page, how many people are actually putting it in their cart, and how many people are buying, which is all super useful information because I want to see, are 50 people adding to cart and not buying it? What's stopping them? Are people clicking over to my detail page, but they're not buying it or not clicking adding to cart? Why? Is it my price? Am I not advertising to the right audience? These are all data and clues that can kind of give you. And you can download all tags in a CSV. So you could download it and save these links for later, but you can also edit your campaign. If I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot, I wanted to put a Amazon attribution link out for my pre-orders, then I could come back here and say, I'm going to add another one. And you can add more options here in your campaign. And then you just save it. Whoop, you save it when you're done right up here. So you have these cool options of being able to do more things with it and update it and change it and all of that kind of good stuff. So super cool here that you've got these options, that you've got your attribution tags. So you can actually go into edit attribution tags and you can see them. You can download them and you can look at everything. So this is in beta. I have gotten emails about it. I'm not sure it's shown up in everyone's account yet, because I've had some people who have emailed me 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and some people are emailing me like today. But it also estimates your KEMP royalties, so your Kindle page reads, your purchases. No data here because this account hasn't used it yet, and it's still so new. I'll have to do a new video once we actually get an account with some information. But I think this is huge. I think authors should be using this because this will allow you to track if your outside ads, not just correlation, but you'll be able to get more hard data to know if your ads are performing outside of Amazon and if you're using your ad budget wisely. So I think that is a fabulous feature. I'm very excited about it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything extra. And then you've got it there. All right. So hopefully that helps. I'm, again, very excited about that. And so it's amazing new things to use and to do. And I think it's a powerful tool just to know, is it working? Is what we're doing working? Because sometimes you get clicks, you get impressions, but those clicks and impressions don't necessarily mean sales. And so it's nice to have another way to track that. I am very excited about it. And so with that, that was the end of our day. I knew it was going to take a little bit of time, so thank you for bearing with me through the bumps along the way. But if you have questions we didn't cover, let us know. You can come back next Friday, just newshelves.com/FAF. You can also email those in, info@newshelves.com. We'll be back tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next week. We'll be back next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you still have questions, of course, let us know. If you are wondering about different topics, don't be afraid to go over to our YouTube channel and do a search. We have so many videos and how-tos on specific topics. So always go there. You can always check out our blog as well. And shouldn't we do this every day? I feel like I do, but I do this one-on-one every day. So I think it's fabulous. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you next week. Have an awesome weekend. Bye.